crisis. We are just 60 minutes away from Mayor Dave Bing revealing the depths of Detroit's financial crisis.
The televised speech comes just days after a report revealed the possibility the city will go broke sometime next year.
We have Team 7 coverage of Bing's address. Stephen Clark and Bill Proctor are live at Detroit's Northwest Activity Center. We began with 7 Action News anchor Stephen Clark live with more on what the mayor is expected to talk about. Stephen?
Well, we know the mayor is going to be speaking at this podium behind us in exactly 1 hour. He will be speaking from a prepared script that will take approximately 15 minutes. There's the podium, there's a teleprompter. He'll be reading from that. We asked if we could see that the comments. They are embargoed, though, till 5:45. But the mayor's communication director did characterize the speech for us, saying it is going to be straight talk about the city's finances. The mayor will talk about what he calls a perfect storm that led us to this point. $100 million in lost revenue sharing money from the state of Michigan. $50 million in lost tax revenue because of the recession. Also, the mayor is going to talk about that Ernst & Young audit that we first released yesterday. They're going to publicly release that audit today that our analysis shows could mean the city will be broke as early as February if it stays on the same track right now. We are also told the mayor will be speaking about an emergency manager. What he'll say about that emergency manager, we do not know, but he will address that situation. So at this point, we have not seen a copy of the speech. We will in about 45 minutes. Then, of course, everybody will hear it in exactly 1 hour. The seats, by the way, in front of the podium are filled with invited community leaders and council members who choose to be here. Reporting live, Stephen Clark, Channel 7 Action News.
All right, we'll check in with you again, Stephen. Thank you.
And lots of people are already feeling the city's financial troubles.
That's right. Vendors are waiting to be paid while retirees worry about their future. 7 Action News investigator Bill Proctor is live in Northwest Detroit. And Bill, some companies are owed millions of dollars, aren't they?
And months behind are the payments. In fact, it's a regular thing in the city of Detroit to talk to any vendor. They will, in fact, tell you that, yes, they've been waiting for money for a while. The constant knocks on the door are not turning up the kind of money that they need even to stay afloat in some cases. And, yes, this is an administration that's been working on the issue quite some time. In fact, this report, essentially reviewed by the auditor of the city of Detroit, indicates where some of the money needs to go and where the cuts should be.
Back in May, Detroit's Auditor General looked at Mayor Bing's 5-year deficit elimination plan and deemed it realistic with substance, but said the Bing administration was really unable to quantify how they would save millions of dollars to balance future budgets. But medical benefits for workers is one area Bing has targeted for savings, and that's a big concern for retirees like 100-year-old Fannie Hubbard.
Everything is so expensive, and a senior has so many needs, and with the little pension you get, you just don't have enough money to live on.
There are thousands of retirees in the city who are concerned that the city's proposal to reduce its contribution to their medical plans by 20% cuts into money they need for day-to-day living.
Now the co-pays have been raised to $5 for generics. There were $2 for generics before.
Another area of concern? The city is failing to pay its contractors and vendors who help maintain the city.
We need to get paid. I need to pay these people that work for me.
The city hired Henry Stallings' company to board up abandoned houses all over the city. But he says he's one of hundreds of vendors still waiting for his money. He says he's owed several $100,000.
So I've been carrying my company doing this contract for 6 months, having not been paid since June of this year. And it's unconscionable.
If they're not paying their vendors, that affects everyone. It is a trickle-down effect, whether anyone wants to believe that or not. Everyone should be concerned.
CPA George Smith says that he has dozens of clients who provide services to Detroit with similar complaints of not getting paid. Then there's the city's bus system, which has a budgeted subsidy every year of $50 million. But DDOT consistently spends tens of millions more to keep the buses on the road. Another place the mayor wants to cut substantially. Reorganizing the police department was supposed to result in savings, but Bing admits the reorganization really hasn't happened, so now layoffs are on the table, and City Council insists all departments must be considered for cuts. The EMS section of the fire department is owed millions of dollars from runs to emergency rooms for people without insurance and inability to pay. That fact and other issues could lead to fire department layoffs. And then there's the lighting department, where the city wants to privatize the service that needs hundreds of millions of dollars in upgrades. But what company would consider buying a $300 million problem?
Indeed, there have been discussions with DTE about taking over the city's lighting issues, trying to make sure that there's light on the streets. So far, they haven't moved on that issue, but tonight at 6 o'clock, we just may hear from the mayor if any of this has any, at least moving forward on some of these issues about how to save money, how the money needs to be spent. Reporting live in Detroit, Bill Proctor, 7 Action News.
All right, Bill, thank you very much.